Hello, everybody.
Hey,
It's us again with the LuvStrong podcast.
your favorite people.
All right. So I'm going to start by telling a little bit of history on how we got here. Okay.
You're going to love this one.
Yeah. Well, I have my wife to thank because at first I didn't want any part of any kind of social media type of stuff. Right. I was not feeling
He
that.
was so against it.
Yeah, so what was happening is that our relationship was going really great, and she would post to her Facebook friends and stuff, and I was like, "Why are you doing that?" There's people just all they do is kind of navigate in negativity,
Yeah.
and they're just haters and stuff. So why, I was like, don't put our business out there. We happy, just let's keep it to ourselves. But she would always reach out, and then a lot of people were coming to her for advice and stuff. And after a while, I felt like a heel. I felt like she's all out there looking kind of one-sided, talking about how she was happy, and nobody was hearing from the other side. So I think my first post was something, a note from the other side. And then people responded to that, and I responded back. I did another thing called Apology to My Exes. I started sharing my side of it. And it was crazy. It went viral. And I remember the day that I put it out there, I thought it was going to go to my Facebook followers, but it wound up really going viral. I mean, Tamron Hall wanted to interview me for the news. Mm-hmm. It was on every black magazine. It was a Huffington Post. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And I was flying home and 11 people stopped me in the airport talking about it. So that was the birth of me realizing that I provided a little bit more that was needed than kicking people in the head. So I then started to, kind of embrace it a bit, that, what we're here for is no matter what you do, you're a servant, and that's no different than what we are, and we're servants, and that's what I was put on the earth to do. I think that's in a lot of ways what we've all been put on earth to do, and so I thank her for showing me that I had something to offer that was more than just action films or television and movie stuff, and so I'm happy about that because my heart is in it now. I do feel really significant in providing content that actually touches people's lives. So thank you, babe.
You're quite welcome.
Yeah.
But, another thing, it's very important because I feel like so many women, we tend to be more emotional and we tend to share like, all of our lovey-dovey things on social media, but a lot of times the men are quiet. And sometimes it can look a little like you said, very one-sided. And then you wonder, is a guy really into this relationship as much as she's into it? So even though I knew where we were, I didn't feel that so much, but it did make me happy when you chose to put your feelings out there and let people know, the world know how you stood with me, and our place together. So it did kind of give me that like little push to keep it going. And I do think it was very beneficial because a lot of people really started checking in through DMs and messages, just saying how much they were inspired by us and constantly asking for relationship advice.
Yeah, and I was motivated from those damn haters, for one thing. Because a lot of women were out there, oh, he's just playing you and blah, 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 and all that. I was like, oh okay.
Boy, yeah. I had so many women in my DMs when we first got back together.
Yep, guys too were saying, oh, she's being played and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I was like, wow, really?
How you like
y'all
us
feel
now?
that entitled to send me messages like that? Like, I was like, okay.
Yeah, and we
Okay.
ain't above being petty ourselves because,
I could be real petty.
I'm not that proud of this, but there's been people that, we reached back out for it.
I know I did.
Yeah, you're like, it's like it's been 9 years. It's been 8 years since you sent that message. So far, things are still going good.
Yeah, and you can call me Mrs. White now.
Yeah. So, and Of course,
Petty McGee, like Tony Baker says.
yeah, yeah, but there's just a lot of people in pain,
Yeah.
and they just, God bless them,
Well, it's like that saying, hurt people like to hurt people. And,
Yeah.
it's nothing more than that. People saw how happy I was and they tried to just throw shade. But, luckily I don't, when I say I'm petty, I'm being funny. I mean, I can be, but I'm not like, that's what not like, I live every day like that. But I didn't stoop down to that level.
But look, we understand. There are a lot of people who are very doubtful about relationships because they've been hurt, and that's one of the reasons why we're here. And the name of this particular episode is called Best Friends.
BFFs.
Yes, absolutely. And well, it comes from a lot of people ask us, well, what is it about you guys? I see you and your energy and you seem like you really like each other. It's true. And I'll give you this analogy. Sometimes in the past, I didn't like giving this analogy because I didn't like what it led people to think. And I'll explain that a bit later. I didn't want it to become something negative. Now, the analogy is this. Now, I want you to think about your friend base. You have your friends, guys and girls. You have your friends that you speak to every month. You might have a friendship that you talk to each other once a month, and you have your other friends that you might talk to once a week, some twice a week, and then some maybe a couple of times a week. And then you have your best friends that you talk to every day. Now, think about that friend that you talk to once a month or a couple of times a month. Now, think about that person moving in with you. Now, what happens is that once a month friend now is forced into an everyday friendship scenario. Or that once a week friend is now forced into a everyday type of thing. Now you're going to have a little bit of issues because it's not the natural state of things, right? So you're going to need your time off. But you don't need that time off with your everyday friends because it's natural. Now that analogy really applies to a lot of relationships. A lot of relationships are a natural once a month relationship. Hopefully it's a several times a week natural relationship, but it's forced into an everyday thing. Therefore, that friend that you're now forced to live with, that's not natural, well, you need time away, right? You now need time away with the girls. The guys need time away with the guys. Or you need a girls' trip. We need a guys' trip because it's not the natural state. Now, with Gillian and I, we're everyday friends who happen to be married. That's really the analogy that I'm leaving you. So it never feels like work when you're with your best friend, that everyday type of relationship that you can't wait to see each other. I thought there would naturally be a time where that would kind of run out and you don't look forward or you just wanted some time away. But it's never happened. It's never happened for me, which is rare. And that's why I wrote this thing called Apology to My Exes, because I realized that that's what women wanted. They wanted somebody who would miss them if they didn't talk to them for a day. But I didn't have that before. And so I go, oh, shoot. Now I get it. Apologies. I get it now because I have that person that I want to talk to every day. And even when I do things separate, I can't wait to share my part of the day with them. And then, I mean, I was the type that I didn't like walking hand in hand with nobody. I'd find reasons to use my hand. Oh, look at that over there. Like, you know what I mean?
He's not lying either.
I'm not lying. I was like, and I'm
counting down the seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, okay.
So I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't always like this, right? So I was like, damn, like every day. I didn't think that was possible. I think I'd get bored. So
Even saying I love you.
yeah, I didn't grow up with people saying I love you. Nobody said that in my family. Just nobody. And so, when she would say I love you and think, I was kind of that kind of thing till it was just very natural for me. But she grew up in a household that says everybody says I love you. Like they're just
Very loving family.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with that type of thing. So I'm just like, yeah, cool.
What do you
yeah.
say? You're like,
Yeah, me too. I was from that thing. But getting back on the best friends thing. Now, this is why I'm reluctant to give you that analogy, is because I don't want anybody to think that they have to have anything like this. There are people who don't want to see somebody every day, and that's natural, right? And if you are in a natural once or a few times a week relationship, so be it. Maybe that might benefit
that
you.
really actually works for a lot of people.
Yeah, it works for a lot of people because maybe they don't want to see somebody every damn day. So I don't want to ever put that out there like, oh, we got this, that
Like
other
this
people.
this is perfect for everyone. It's not. It's perfect for us.
Yeah.
It might not work for everyone else. Like our friend Cherie. We had a really good friend who came to live with us for a while to help us out with the kids and some of our business affairs. And I remember when she got here, she was like, okay, this is weird. Seeing you guys together every day. You wake up together, you have breakfast together, you go work out together, you spend your day together, you do business together. She's like, you go to bed together. She's like, it's too much. She was like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. She's like, I could never have a relationship where I had to be with a person every minute of the day. And I was like, but this is what works for us. Like, we enjoy each other. Like, we never get tired. She was like, how do you not get tired? And not even being negative. It's just that what she was exposed to, what she saw in life, the relationships that she saw growing up, that was uncommon. So she didn't understand it. And recently, she got into a really good relationship, and she called me one day crying. And she was like, Gillian, I get it now. I get it. She goes, what I thought was so strange and so weird with you and Mike having this being together all the time, she says, I have that now. She said, I'm actually with someone who I love being with. They love being with me. We love spending every moment of the day together. We never get tired of each other. And she's like, I get it now. And she's like, and you guys gave me that example that I never had in my life. She said, you showed me something that I was never exposed to. And she said, and now I have that in my life. She was like, I feel like you guys have blessed me by opening my eyes up to something that I might have never known and might not have implemented into this new relationship I'm in. Yeah. So that made me feel really good, you know.
Me
that
too.
And she was like, I live with you guys, so I know.
Yeah, for
She's
2
like,
years.
For 2 years she lived in
Yeah.
our back house. So she saw us and she said, you guys never fight, you guys never argue, you guys always have a good time together. She's like, I saw it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
She's like, it's not a front.
Yeah, and I want to encourage people it's not so much what's on paper, because even what's on paper, two actors living together is not the greatest thing on paper, to be honest with you, because usually it's too
self-absorbed,
very narcissistic,
egotistical.
Situations and jealousy, and there's a lot of that type of stuff.
Right.
But that's so on paper it's not the most optimal. And there were situations in my past that made more sense on paper, but it didn't make sense from the heart. So, yeah, what's on paper might be paper thin when you really look at it. Mm-hmm. And those things don't tend to last. But I tell you what does last: chemistry. Chemistry freaking lasts.
It really does.
Think about your best friends. You can not see somebody for a whole half a year or a year or years. And then when you get together, it's that same chemistry clicks in. And so that's what we have here. We have a chemistry, even though when in the past we lost track, the chemistry lasts with me. I know that whenever we would run into each other, when we weren't together, it was like my friend base and her friend base would be like,
all the time.
Yeah,
we were at a comedy club one night when we weren't together. He happened to be there with some friends. I was with my friends, and we, spoke. We were cordial, and then afterwards, my friend I was with was like, who was that guy? And I was like, oh, a guy I used to date back in. She's like, you guys? She's like, your chemistry was crazy. She was like, how are you guys not together?
Yeah.
She was like, it was so strong just in that few moments of you guys just saying hi, speaking, giving each other a hug, and like that was it.
Yeah, and a bird landed right on my shoulder.
And butterflies were in my hair.
So, but it was like that kind of a thing. But but on my side too, it's really like, yo, yeah, who was that? And we ran into each other in New York. Yeah, same thing. Doug was like, yeah, what was up with that?
Who was that guy?
Yeah, so really listen to your heart. You're lucky if you have that chemistry with anybody. Think about your best friends. You only get like a few of those in life. And if you're lucky enough to not fall into the bullshit and what's on paper and the good behavior stuff and your authentic self with someone else, you then can have that with your mate, but you have to let go of, I never believed in dating. I thought that was just bullshit. Just a bunch of laid down behaviors that we're both supposed to follow. So we meet each other's representative. We agree with everything, and we start to go down this line
until the truth comes out.
Yeah, until you find out who you really are.
Out, yeah.
So, be who you are like day one. That's I know I'm saying a lot, so I've got somebody trying to tell me because I'm trying to break the habit of the knows, because that's my thing. And going back to the first show, you work on your flaws, so that's what that's about. I hope this part is not.
Trying.
I hope you're cutting out this part. So anyway.
But also, like you said, with the best friends and also what's on paper. I mean, we don't pick our best friends based off of what they do, right? You don't go, oh, I'm going to be best friends with this guy because he's a lawyer, and that's going to look good being my best friend.
Absolutely.
It's like somebody might go, oh, I'm going to be with that woman because, she's a professor at a university, and that'll look good that I'm with a professor. You don't do that. You choose who you're going to have a relationship with based on your chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what you guys have in common and your interests, not off of what's on paper, what they do or how much money they make. That just would be weird, right?
Yeah, just think of your best friend right now. Just take a moment, think about your best friend. Do you guys do the same thing? You probably on paper don't match. And it's about a chemistry thing. So that's what's valuable.
Yeah.
Because when you get together, when you have the right chemistry, you just elevate each other. It's like you vibrate on a level that gives birth to new thought and realizations about yourself, and that the other person's there for your benefit. You're never trying to prove that your friend doesn't love you. Even if your friend says something outlandish and crazy, you give them the benefit of the doubt. But people learn in relationships to take that shit so serious, which is the big problem, is that they don't give the same leeway to your mate, the closest, most important person to you. You don't give the same leeway that you would have given your friend. You take it super serious. That's not the thing. Your mate should be your best friend, hopefully. And no friendship should get in between you and your partner. That's plain and simple. If you don't understand that, then you're on some bullshit.
I mean, you cannot take things so serious in a relationship. I mean, Mike and I, we keep things so lighthearted. I mean, we have friends who are with us and they're like, we might joke around, make fun of each other. And in some relationships, somebody might get their feelings hurt or because they take things so serious, and it's really their own insecurities. When you're not putting so much on everything, you can actually laugh at yourself. You can laugh at jokes and play around with each other and let things not lead into disagreements, which they can so easily go into when you two aren't on the same page because your insecurities or that person thinking you said something that kind of poked at them or triggered something. And it's like, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
We laugh so much because we're always joking around and just making fun of each other.
Yeah, it's it's a sitcom at my house, to be honest with you. There's times when our daughters are sending us to bed because we're in the kitchen laughing and they got to wake up for school.
They're like, we got to go to school in the morning. Go to sleep.
You're right. Yeah.
We're in there just talking and laughing.
But one thing I'm super proud of, I know you're proud of it too, is that when you have your teenage daughters telling you that you're their couple goals, that's something. They normally don't want to give you that kind of accolade.
Yeah.
But
our eldest daughter told us that one time.
yeah.
She was like, you guys are seriously like # relationship goals.
Yeah. So
That was kind of cool.
yeah. But now it really comes down to the self-work that we did. And the fact that we don't take ourselves that serious when things aren't that serious. It's not like we belittle anything about our relationship or whatever. It's that there's no ego involved. And with ego comes a lot of problems. Where I say, it's one of the reasons why we started our first podcast with doing self-work, because it all comes down to that. If I didn't realize my flaws early on, well, then I'd have those insecurities and I would be trying to compensate for them. Since I did that work, it's no longer a problem. And now I'm open to, I have the propensity to get better instead of swirling in the same place. Because there's no growth that happens if you're not willing to look at yourself objectively.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important. I mean, like I said, for both of us. And, you know, and we try to really push that to our friends and anyone we're giving advice to. We all have insecurities. There's like I said, we're not perfect beings. We have insecurities, we have flaws. No one's knocking that, but it's so important that you take the time, take that self, like look within yourself and figure out what it is that you need to work on. Because once again, taking that into a relationship only leads to problems. You know, like I said, when Mike and I joke around, if I had a lot of insecurities and he said something jokingly to me that I felt like he's making fun of me, instead of me laughing about it with him, I'm gonna get defensive. I'm gonna, like, why'd you say that about me? Why are you making fun of me? It's like, and those things are so trivial when you think about it, especially when it's something light like a joke. You know, I have a tendency to talk with my hands. You guys will probably notice this on the podcast because I do it all the time. I talk with my hands. They always make fun of me. They're like, you have to act out everything. Like, we could be in a restaurant and I'm like, can I have some tea, please? Or can you clean the table? We need to wipe this down. Or, ooh, it's cold in here. Like, I can't help it. It's who I am. I accept that. It's part of me. But they make fun of me all the time. If I let that get to me at a point where, man, can you guys stop making fun of me? Okay, ha, we get the joke. But I never do that because it is funny. It's something that it's quirky. It's part of me. It's who I am. I'm not trying to change it, but I know people are going to make fun of it. But if I take that so light that it becomes a joke with all of us, opposed to them laughing and me getting mad about it, which just leads to like tension.
And I have these flaws that I have to look at as well. And like sometimes I'm not aware of how I come off to other people, right? Because people think I'm really mean, but because of my face is like this. Right now, I'm thinking about bunnies
with rainbows,
but I happen to look like this. So that's a flaw of my own, right? So I could be like, yes, I like a double cheeseburger with onions. And not understand why
a double cheeseburger with onions.
Yeah, why?
And ass whooping.
And I'll be like, look, why is this person reacting to me this way?
Because you have before. Yeah, you're like, why is that guy looking at me like that? And I'm like,
right.
Babe, like it's.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's another
sometimes,
flaw.
Sometimes,
that's a big flaw.
Yeah,
that's a big flaw because I don't realize I'm what do you want to call famous or whatever.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Somebody who could be looking at me and like this, and I'm like, yo, man, we got a problem. And they're like, are you the guy from Spawn? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just, you were looking. And so, I'm from Brooklyn originally. So, looking at me.
Brooklyn's hard.
Yeah,
You can't be looking at somebody like that.
You know what's up.
Money, God,
yeah. So that happens sometimes. But the point is, it's about, embracing your flaws and the fact that it's, hopefully you could have fun with whatever your problems are, whatever your flaw is, so you can deal with it, right? So that's what it is. Don't take yourself so fucking serious right now. You hear me?
Like I think this is really funny. I think we should both talk about one of our flaws, right?
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just to be transparent with you guys, like one of my flaws that I know drives him crazy, I'm always moving shit. Always. I'm constantly cleaning up. So he likes to set things down where he likes to set things down, and that's where he know it is. Even if it's messy, he knows it's there. Me, I go clean it up. I put things where they belong. He comes back, where's my, I put it here. I'm like,
I don't say it like that.
well,
No,
you know
I'm
what I'm
like,
saying. No, I'm saying, but it's like
Yeah,
he's
I'm
looking
like,
for it, and he might be a little frustrated because he might be rushing. Like, where's my keys? I put them there. I need to go.
Yeah, but babe, it sounds more like, there was some keys, right?
Right here.
Like 2 minutes ago, there was because
What you doing?
you got to watch how you say things, especially if you look like this, right? So I'd be like, oh, there was some keys that was just right here, like 30 fucking seconds ago. And so because she might get defensive, because usually she's the one that I blame.
When you can't find something.
Even if I
Lost it.
Yeah, I lost it. I'm like, I don't go to
You're
me
probably
first.
like, I bet you lost it because you're always moving
Yeah,
stuff.
but
That's one thing.
that's on both that's
Right.
on both sides, because sometimes I'm going to blame her for some shit I can't find. Right? Because usually I'm right. But
Sometimes.
usually I'm right. Because I could talk about just a little while ago. I was trying to get ready, but we were sharing the same damn mirror, right? And my stuff was out there, ready. just gonna leave it out there, so let her get ready, because she's got the
His brush.
she's gonna do this like for a while. So let me just move, and then when she's done, bathroom light clicks off. All my stuff is gone. I come back and I'm like,
Honestly, I didn't know you were coming back. So I tend to clean up after myself.
Why was I lingering? 3 times I came and lingered
Oh my gosh.
and left.
I thought you just wanted to be in the presence
I
of your
lingered
wonderful wife.
and left. My stuff was out there on the sink because I was there before you.
Oh my God.
Lingered 3rd time.
Yes.
Left. So when she was done, she was like, this don't need to be none of this. And so she goes like, not just right there. It's up under things. So I can't find them. So, but again, I don't freak out, but it's.
And you make light.
Yeah, I make light of
flaws.
it. Yes, and we talk about it with everybody.
Yes, we share it on podcasts.
Nice. Laughter is a really good tactic to not take yourself too serious.
It is.
And so I really challenge folks to just look at yourself and not take yourself so serious, and give credence to what anybody might say about you, because really your insecurity is giving a lot of power away. You have the choice to react. Nobody, unless they have access to your brain and spinal cord, can make you angry. Only you have to accept becoming angry from some outside stimulus. You have the power. So it may sound very philosophical, but it's true. Nobody can make you angry. It's just learned behavior. You're learning to give that power away.
And it's the way you take stuff in and process it and send it back out, right? Because we all have choices in how we can respond to something.
Yeah.
You know?
So really, what is the worst that can happen? by you not taking yourself too serious, or just saying, well, let me look at myself objectively. What if I am one-sided, or what if a few people are telling me that I'm arrogant or I'm pompous or whatever? What does it hurt you to entertain the possibility of that?
And maybe you are.
Yeah, and it ain't the end of the world. I always say I love being wrong because every time I'm wrong, I learn something. My life and my family has benefited greatly by me having that attitude. And I would hope that I could impress upon someone else to adopt that, because we've gotten a lot of happiness by way of not taking things too serious. And, you know, I mean, we can easily, if need be, if I need to take things serious, I know I have the capacity to be the most serious cat on the planet. I could take it to DEFCON 5 or DEFCON 2 or whatever. I forget which DEFCON was stronger, but I can do all of that shit. So if I need to tap into this anger from this Brooklyn-born child and who knows war, I can do that, but that would be for a good reason. But I tell you, life has not had to make me dip into that reserve for a very long time. So I'm using it in movies, and I'm using it against an enemy who might rear its head. But I damn sure don't need it and don't show it in my family.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's like I say, it's like a fire. Now, a fire can cook the food or it could burn the house down. It's good for men to have that fire, but you got to know what to do with it.
And I really look at stuff. I mean, I know it's so common to say this, but life is short. And I just feel like when you spend every day kind of on the defense or challenging things or just taking things so serious, you're not really allowing yourself to see the beauty of life, to feel all the wonderful things in it, to enjoy relationships and family time and good times with your friends and laughter and happiness, because you're so constantly just in a place of defensiveness, you know? And there's people that are like that, like just, you can't say anything to them. They're just defensive. It's like, damn, like calm down. It's not that serious. Yeah. But there's so many people that are like that. And like I like to say, life is too short for that. You don't know when your last day is going to be here, you know? So enjoy the time in your relationships. Enjoy the time with your friends. Enjoy just the beauty of the world and the day that you've been given, you know?
Yeah, and see if you can love somebody for their flaws. Their flaws are part of who they are. If you're going to love someone, you got to love that too, and not take it too serious. And that goes for yourself as well.
Mm-hmm.